Hello students, this is explanation video number 2 of the chapter The Necklace from the footprints without feet of your supplementary reader, and this is chapter number 7 of your book. So in our previous video we have discussed that Matilda enjoyed a lot in the party, and when she was coming back home near about 4 o'clock in the morning, so she was in a hurry that nobody should notice her cheap wrap, right? And that's why she didn't wait for the cab also, and quickly went down the stairs. She did not want to be noticed as they got on the street and they were looking for a carriage which could take them to the home, but what they could not find the one. Then they saw a coachman at the distance and started calling him, and the coachman did not stop. Now we have to see the next paragraph. It took them far as to the door, and they went wearily up to the apartment. It was all over her and not on the part. He remembered that he would have to be at the office by 10 o'clock. She removed the wraps from the shoulders before the glass for a final view of herself in her glory. Suddenly she uttered a cry. Her necklace was not around her neck. So in our last paragraph we have read that they finally found a carriage of old style which one could see in the street of Paris at the dusk time. So that carriage took them to their home, and they both went up. By then they were extremely tired, and the enthusiasm and the fun of Ma'am Loisel had ended by then, and Ma'am Loisel also remembered that he had to reach Mr. Loisel, he also remembered that he had to reach his office by 10 in that morning. That time Matilda, she stood in front of the mirror and removed the wrap to see herself one last time in that beautiful dress and the necklace. So when she saw, suddenly she uttered a cry, right? When she saw herself in the mirror, she cried because the necklace was missing, that was not around her neck. What is the matter? She turned towards him excitedly. I longer have Ma'am Forrester's necklace. He arose in dismay. What? How is that? It's not possible. And they looked in the folds of the dress, in the folds of the cloak, in the pockets, everywhere. They could not find it. He asked, "You were sure still had when we left the minister's house?" So when they noticed that the necklace was missing and it was not on the neck of Ma'am Loisel, so that time actually Mr. Loisel was already half undressed, and by then was almost ready to go to sleep when he asked her the reason for shouting. So she turned towards him and said that Ma'am Forrester's necklace was missing, and that might have fallen somewhere. They searched it in the folds of the dresses, the cloak, and in the pockets, but they could not find it. So Mr. Loisel then asked her if she remembered having it on while they were leaving the minister's house or not, or on the way she just threw that somewhere. So next, yes, I felt it when we came out, but if you had lost in the street, we have heard it fall. It must be in the cab. Yes, it is possible. Did you take the number? No. And you? Did you notice what it was? No. They looked at each other, utterly cast down. Finally, Loisel dressed himself again. "I am going," he said, "over the track where we want on foot to see if I can find it." And he went. She remained in her evening gown, not having the force to go to bed. Towards 7 o'clock her husband returned. He had found nothing. He went to the police, and then let's see what happened. So when they noticed that the necklace was not there, so that time the husband got puzzled Matilda, she herself got puzzled and distressed that where she lost that. So that time Ma'am Loisel said that she remembered when he asked that if it was there at the minister's house. So that time she answered that yes, she remembered having it on, and she had felt it while leaving the house of minister, right. So what happened? Mr. Loisel said that if it would have fallen on the street, then they would have heard the sound of it falling, but they did not hear anything, which meant that it must have fallen in the cab. So to this she replied that it could be possible that what he had said was right, and asked him if he had noted down the number of the cab of the driver of the car. So both of them had not seen the number of the carriage. So they were let down by what had just happened, and Loisel and Mr. Loisel dressed up again to go and to look on the tracks where they were walking. She remained at the home wearing the evening gown, whereas her husband went out in the search of the necklace, and Mr. Loisel returned at around 7 in the morning and announced that he had not found anything. So he also went to the police now, right. So let's see what happened. He went to the police and to them he went to the police and to the cab office and put the advertisement in the newspaper offering a reward. She waited all the day in the state of bewilderment before this fright disaster. Loisel returned in the evening, his face pale. He had discovered nothing. He said, "Write to your friend that you have broken the clasp of the necklace and that you will have it repaired. That will give us some time." She wrote as he dictated. At the end of a week they had lost all the hopes, and Loisel, older by 5 years, declared, "We must replace this jewel." So what happened here when Mr. Loisel went to get that to find that necklace on the way, because he thought that Matilda, she has thrown that necklace on the way when they were walking, right. So at 7 o'clock in the morning he came back, and he found nothing at that time. So he also went to the police and the cab office asking about it, and gave the advertisement about in the newspaper and offering a reward for whoever will return that. And Madame Loisel waited for her husband the whole day, and when he returned, he announced that he had not been able to find that necklace. So Mr. Loisel that time came up with an idea that you should write a letter, you should send a message to Ma'am Forrester that they had given the necklace for repairing, as the hook of the necklace had broken. So after looking for it for almost a week, they decided to buy another necklace, means the replacement of that, right. So but from where they will get a diamond necklace, so that was a big question. In a shop of Plassey Royals, they found a chaplet of exactly like the one they had lost. It was valued at 40,000 francs. They could get it for 36,000. Loisel possessed 18,000 francs, which his father had left him. He borrowed the rest. He made ruinous promises, took money from usurers and the whole race of lenders. Then he went to get the new necklace, depositing on the merchant's counter 36,000 francs. When Ma'am Loisel took back the jewels to Ma'am Forrester, the latter said to her fresh tone. Now the husband said that they have to replace the necklace. Now the big question was that from where they will replace that necklace. So they started looking for a necklace similar to one they had lost, and found one of that same kind in the shop of Plassey's Royals. And the price of that necklace was actually 40,000, but on discount they may get it on 36 francs. So Mr. Loisel had about 18,000 francs which were given to him by his father before his death. So he borrowed the rest of the money from the different money lenders, and he then bought the necklace from the shop by paying the full amount of 36,000 francs. When Ma'am Loisel took the necklace to her friend, that time her friend told that she would have returned it earlier as she needed it, right? So that time she just gave a comment to Madam Matilda Loisel. Okay, so Ma'am Forrester did not open the jewel box, and Ma'am Loisel shivered. What would she think if she would perceive the substitution? What should she say? Would she take her for a robber? Ma'am Loisel now knew the horrible life of necessity. She did her part, however, completely, heroically. She would pay it. They sent away the rented some room in an attic. She learned the arduous work of the kitchen. She washed the dishes. She washed the soiled linen, their clothes and dish clothes, which she hung on the line to dry. So when she returned the necklace to her, and it was a big amount for them, for such a middle class family, to pay 36,000 francs, right? So when she went there to Madame Loisel, and she was afraid that her friend didn't even open and check the necklace, as she expected actually of that if she will open that, so she will get to know that this is not the actual necklace and this is the replacement of the necklace. So she could blame her to be a thief. Ma'am Loisel realized how horrible life could become. If her friend would identify all that situation, that the necklace is not her, it has been replaced and all that. She knew that they would have to pay the loan that they had taken for the necklace at any cost. But it was her luck actually that Ma'am Forrester, she did not open the box and kept it as it is. Right now, when she came back to the home, she knew that it was a big sum and big amount they have to pay as a, they have taken so as a loan, so that they have to pay now. So they started to reduce their expenses and save more money. So they removed the maid from their job, changed their house, and they have rented some room of the roof of the building, on the attic, means on the roof of the building. Now she had to learn the tiring and the boring work of the kitchen, like washing dishes and cooking food and all the work. She would wash clothes and hang them on the line to dry. She would pay it. They sent away the maid, they changed and all that, right? So we have learned that. So in this paragraph, we will learn that she soiled the linen, their clothes and dish clothes, which she hung on the line to dry. She took down the refuse to street each morning and brought up the water, stopping at each landing to catch her breath. And clothed like women of the people, she went to the grocers, the butchers and the fruiters, with her basket on her arm, shopping, hanging to the last so of miserable money. So as we have read in the last paragraph, she started to learn all the odious works of her home, right? And with the little money that she had, she used to dress like an ordinary people, and she started to go to the grocery shop, the butcher shop and the fruit shop with a basket to buy the things of daily use. And the husband, he also was busy in different tasks. So the last so of the miserable money, the husband worked evening putting the books of some merchants in orders, and night he often did copying at 5 sous a page. And this life lasted for 10 years at all. Ma'am Loisel seemed old now. She had become a strong, hard woman, the crude woman of the poor household. Her hair badly dressed, her skirt awry, her hands red. She spoke in a loud tone and washed the floor with the large pails of water. But sometimes, when her husband was at the office, she would sit herself before the window and think of that evening party of former times, of that ball, where she was so beautiful and so flattered. How would it have been if she had not lost the necklace? Who knows how singular is life and how full of changes? How small a thing will ruin or make your life. So here we have read that the husband, he was also, Madam Loisel, she herself was in the poor condition, right? But the husband also started to live in a miserable condition, as he used to work extra time in the evening and often did copying work at the night for small amounts of 5 sous a page. They did for this 10 years and paid back the debt within this period. So it took 10 years. That's a long time to pay that debt. By this time, Ma'am Loisel had become a hard-working woman of the poor household. She had started looking old with her hair badly kept, hands red. She used to speak in a loud voice, and many times to feel good when her husband used to go to work and she is free from the house chores. So that time she would sit next to the window and think about the party at the minister's house. She used to feel good about how beautiful and elegant she looked that day. She would imagine how her life would be if she would not have lost that necklace. And she used to think about how unpredictable life could be and how a small step could change a person's life. Now she is regretting also sometimes when she is free. One Sunday, as she was taking a walk in the ClassX to rid herself of the cares of the week, she suddenly perceived a woman walking with a child. It was Ma'am Forrester's, still young, still pretty, still attractive. Ma'am Loisel was affected. Should she speak to her? Yes, certainly. And now that she had paid, she would tell her all. Why not? She approached her. Good morning, Jean. Her friend did not recognize her and was astonished to be so familiar, addressed by this common personage. She stammered. Now, what? One day, she was relieving herself of the stress of the week and enjoying a walk along the Chaps Hills, means this is a street, when she suddenly saw a lady walking with a child. So the young pretty and the attractive lady, whom did she see, was one of her old friend. So she recognized that she is too attractive, too beautiful, and too pretty. So that lady was actually Ma'am Forrester. And Ma'am Loisel started thinking about whether she should talk to her or not. So she decided finally that as she had given her the necklace back and paid back all the debts, there was no reason for her not to talk to her. So she went there near her and said, "Good morning, Jenny." Ma'am Forrester was confused as she could not recognize the person but thought that she was familiar because only her close friends used to call her by her name, and her name was Jenny. So she told her that she might have got the wrong person and that she might be looking for someone else. Okay, so but she stammered. Let's see next. Jane Forrester was shocked to see her in such a poor and changed look. "Yes, I had some hard days since I saw you, and some miserable ones, and all because of you." "Because of me? How is that? You recall the diamond necklace that you loaned me to wear to the minister's ball?" "Yes, very well." "Well, I have lost it." So she said, "How is it?" since you returned it to me. I returned another to you exactly like it, and it had taken 10 years to pay for it. You can understand that it was not easy for us who have nothing, but it is finished and I am decently content. Ma'am Forrester stopped short. So in our last paragraph, we have seen that when she talked, means when Matilda Loisel talked to her friend, so she could not identify her, and she thought that she might have got the wrong person and she might be looking for someone else. But Ma'am Loisel, means this Matilda, she introduced herself to her old friend, and Jenny Forrester was shocked to see her in such a poor, changed look. She then replied that she did have some hard days since they last met. Means it was after 10 years she was meeting to her friend, right? So she said that the life had been miserable and it was all because of Ma'am Forrester. So then Ma'am Forrester asked, how was she responsible for the bad days? To which Matilda replied that she had lost for your necklace, right? So to this Forrester, means this Jenny Forrester, replied that it was not possible because she has returned that necklace to her. So at that question, Matilda replied that she had bought a similar necklace and they had been paying the debt for the last 10 years. And she also said that they were not that rich to afford such an expensive necklace. So at that, Matilda added that their debts was now over and that she was satisfied with whatever she had. So at this point, Jenny was surprised and asked Matilda if she bought a diamond necklace just to replace her necklace, to which she replied, yes, I have replaced your diamond necklace with the diamond necklace. At this, Ma'am Forrester, she was she felt too strange when she listened. She was too much disturbed to know that, and she said Ma'am Forrester was deeply touched, depressed, and she held the arm of her friend and she said that the necklace which she had borrowed from Ma'am Forrester was a fake necklace and that it was not worth more than 500 francs. Okay, so like this we have finished the story, and in this last paragraph we came to know that that Ma'am Forrester told her the truth, and she was surprised also that whatever the necklace she is having now, that is the original, not the imitation, and that cost 36,000 francs, but her imitation was of only 500 francs. So here we have learned from this chapter that that we should live a materialistic life, as it can make our life filled with sorrow and grief. We can also say that this is the deception is often a mistake which had a bad result for the deceiver also. So Matilda here in this chapter wishes to deceive the people attending the ball by making them think that she has a higher social status than is actually the case, and for that she borrowed the necklace which helped her to do this. Means she possessed herself, she presented herself a very rich woman. But the irony, the horrible irony I would say here of the fact that the Loisels, they spent years paying off a replacement for what was actually a worthless necklace is just one instant of the irony which the story evident, right? So also this is the ironical fact that Matilda's beauty had been her only valued asset, disappeared as a result of her labor for the life. So thank you very much. Please read this chapter from the book, and please note down the questions which I am discussing in the videos. Thank you very much.